Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Easy English podcast. I'm Oliver, and today we are going to be learning about the benefits of coffee in a fun and easy way in English. I decided to choose this topic because I love coffee. Do you like coffee? Let me know in the comments below. So many people love to drink tea and also coffee, but coffee is my favorite, which is why I decided to make this episode. Recently, I was reading some articles about coffee and the many benefits that you can get from it. People say there are some health benefits from drinking coffee. Of course, many of us drink coffee to feel like we have more energy. But are there other reasons to drink coffee? Let's find out today. If you're like me, you probably have to start your day off with a cup of coffee. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I want, even before I have the rest of my breakfast, is usually a lovely cup of hot coffee. My favorite coffee, or my favorite type of coffee, is a cappuccino. I love cappuccinos with nice warm milk. For me, it isn't just about maybe feeling less sleepy in the morning, but I also just really love the taste of coffee. I love the flavor. It's so nice. But when I was reading an article, I read that there may be some additional health benefits from coffee, which is great. So let's take a look at some of these potential health benefits. So one of these potential health benefits is that it can be connected or linked to a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Wow, that would be crazy if it's true. And in fact, one study showed that per cup of coffee that someone has, it was linked to a 6% lower risk of getting type 2 diabetes. Another potential benefit from coffee is for your brain, so your brain health. It seems to me that the studies or the research that has been done in this area is a little bit mixed, maybe uncertain, but some studies and reviews have shown that it can lead to a reduced risk of Alzheimer's. So when you maybe have that disease where you start to forget things and lose your mind, and also a lower risk of then Parkinson's disease. So if that's true, if it is, if there's further study done and they find this, that is a really big health benefit for the brain. And another potential benefit is that coffee can be linked or connected to a lower risk of depression. So according to one study or a few studies, coffee was linked to an 8% lower risk of depression. Wow. So we've heard some of these potential benefits. But is there anything bad from drinking too much coffee? So without even reading online, I can tell you a couple of negatives for me, or what I think. So I think that one of the negatives is that you can get really used to drinking coffee. Coffee has caffeine in it, and caffeine actually can be quite addictive. So for me, for example, I drink a coffee in the morning as soon as I wake up. I go downstairs and I make a cup of coffee. And it helps me to wake up and feel alive in the morning. But if I stopped drinking that coffee, I would probably, and there have been some mornings where I don't have coffee, and I wake up and I feel terrible. So I feel like I need the coffee. And in that way, caffeine and coffee can kind of be an addiction. It's almost like a socially acceptable addiction in the 21st century. What do you think about that? Another potential negative impact of coffee could be on our sleep. So if you drink coffee too close to bedtime or in the evening time or even the late afternoon, it can affect the quality of your sleep in the evening at night time. And of course, drinking too much coffee can make people feel anxious, so nervous, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. And perhaps if you have other health conditions, maybe some heart problems, coffee and caffeine in general can make things worse. So it can make you feel quite bad. But to be honest, these are all quite small things and they are easily managed. So if you can't drink coffee, don't drink it. But if you feel that coffee benefits you, it benefits your life, then I think it's a good drink to have and to love. One part of coffee culture that I really like is going to coffee shops with friends. So just having a conversation and a chat over a nice hot cup of coffee. I think that coffee can really connect people together. That's amazing. And of course, I really do think that coffee just tastes amazing. It's such a nice flavor and taste. Recently, in the past year, we bought a big coffee machine. And this machine uses whole bean coffee. So it's not pre-ground. And when you grind the beans, that's when you take the whole beans and you make them into a powder. But with this machine, it takes the whole beans, makes them into a powder inside of the machine, and produces the coffee. So just like in a coffee shop. And it makes very tasty coffee. The machine is really cool because it also has a nozzle or a device which makes the milk nice and hot and thick and what we call frothy. And the result is a lovely creamy coffee, just like one from a coffee shop. So now when I am working from home, I make sure to drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee every day. And I'm enjoying a nice hot cappuccino right now as I record this podcast. But of course, there are so many different types of coffees too. Some people love to drink iced coffees in the summertime, especially when it is warm. Other people like to drink just plain black coffee without milk. And in many countries, people love to just drink an espresso shot. So a little tiny coffee, which is just pure coffee. It's very strong, and therefore they drink a small amount. I think that different countries have different cultures around different hot drinks. In the UK, for example, we drink a lot of tea. And in the past, tea was probably the biggest drink. But now I think that coffee is just as popular. And in fact, over time, more and more people are drinking more coffee. And everywhere I see lots and lots of coffee shops opening up. In the past, when I was a child, I didn't really see a lot of coffee shops around. I mainly saw some old-fashioned cafes which did tea and maybe like toasted sandwiches, stuff like that. But now most of the coffee shops that open are very coffee focused. So lots of different coffee types. And the main purpose is to get your coffee. Maybe it's just because more and more people get addicted to caffeine and they need to keep buying coffee. As well, when I was a kid, I didn't really like the taste of coffee. And I think that's the same for most children. Coffee is bitter, so the taste is bitter. And therefore, for a lot of children, it is very hard to drink and not so nice. But I think once your taste buds, so your tongue, develops as you get older, it becomes easier to start enjoying some of those more extreme tastes. And after trying coffee a few times, I started to really like it. Thank you so much for listening to this Easy English podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe if you're new. And if you're a subscriber already, like the video and comment down below if you like coffee or not and what your favorite hot drink is. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of the Easy English podcast. Goodbye.